afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Words with WaPrep. We are recording here in Bothell, Washington, in the United States of America. And in the audience today, we have 4 of our wonderful students that go to school here. And next to me is Eunice, one of the teachers here. She teaches history. And my name is Teresa, and I teach health. So I'd like to introduce you to our audience. We'll start with this young lady over here to my left. Who are you?
Hi, my name's Chloe. I'm in 6th grade and I'm 12.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Kurt. I'm 13 and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Evan and I'm 12 and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm 12 and I'm in 6th grade.
Great. Thank you, guys. So we have a few words we're going to discuss today. The first one is the word alert. When somebody is alert, they are awake and ready to go. You can be alert at home. You can be alert at school. It can also be used to be ready for something, a warning signal, to be alerted that there is a fire, a smoke alarm might go off in your home, or to be alert when a tsunami might be coming, there'd be a signal. It's to be watchful and wide awake. Miss Eunice, what do you think?
Well, when I think of the word alert, I think of the way I like to alert my students that work is due tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I send them a message, and the message lets them know they need to pay attention. They need to be alert to the fact that there is an assignment.
Okay. Kids, what do you think? When you think of the word alert, how do you use it? Or anybody? Are you alert?
So whenever I'm playing video games, I'm always really alert because as soon as I hear the garage door opening, I know my dad's coming, so I have to turn off the video game system.
And why do you have to turn off the video game system, Justin?
Because my mom, once I do all my homework, my mom lets me play video games. But my dad normally he has a rule that's on weekdays no video games. So yeah.
Okay.
I like that rule.
Anybody else think of how that word has been used in your life?
Evan, how would you use the word alert?
The police were alerted that the robber was robbing a jewelry store.
That's right. To be warned, right? Kurt?
You can also get alerts on your phone.
Oh, yes.
Maybe talking about the news or something that's important.
Right. To make familiar.
Sometimes you have to be alert when you're crossing the street.
Sometimes, yeah, just sometimes, right?
Not everyone.
That's Chloe, right. All right. And our next word is the word assign. As teachers, we are very familiar with this word. It is to give out as a piece of work to be done, as in homework or a project. Also, we can use this word to select for a position, or I can assign one of the students a position in the classroom, or I can assign one of them to create something for an assignment, actually. How about you, Miss Eunice?
Oh, it's one of my favorite words, and it's one of my favorite actions, because I like to assign plenty of classwork and homework to my students. The word assignment is something like the word assign. So we like to assign assignments.
All right. Anybody in our audience want to tell us about the word assign in their life? Justin?
In most video games where somebody has a microphone, people normally assign roles to each other, what to do and where to go.
Right. Something to be done. Right. A position. Yes.
Position or a task.
That's right. It can be that either one.
Evan, what do you think of the word assign?
So like when there's like a new company, like the CEO of the company like assigns jobs to everybody.
Yes. Yes. Good. Kurt?
Sometimes you can assign like tasks to other people,
Mm-hmm.
like things other people need to do.
Do you have any jobs at your house that you are assigned to?
Well, I fold the laundry and then I take down the trash cans.
That's right. It's very important. Chloe?
I get assigned jobs to do at school with like partners. So when we're doing partner work, I'm usually assigned a job to help out with the project that's due.
Good. All right. Our next word is the word budge. It's to move or to shift. When you budge something, an object or even a person, you move it. You budge them.
I think of the classroom, of course, when I think of the word budge. We have a lot of different tables, and the tables are really big. More than one person can sit at those tables. And so sometimes I ask the students to move them. And instead of picking up the table and moving it, they choose to budge it by throwing their body against the table. Not the most effective way of moving the table.
Yeah. Sometimes you can hear people say, don't budge in. And we can talk about a line, like you're standing in line and maybe at a drinking fountain. And another person comes, mostly children we're talking about, and tries to get in front of you. And they are pushing their way in. They're budging their way in. It's to move or to shift. What do you think, Justin, when you think of the word budge?
So during moving day, like not moving day, like I was like helping all my like friends, like they were moving, so I had to help them like move their TV, but like when we tried to pick it up, it just wouldn't budge.
Good, very
Excellent
good.
example.
Wouldn't move. Evan, what do you think about that word? Do you ever use that word? Not really? How about you, Kurt?
Well, if it's like a lazy person and you assign them to do something, sometimes they won't budge and they'll just sit there.
Excellent
Yeah.
example.
I'm thinking of my children. Sometimes I ask them to pick things up and they don't budge. Chloe, what do you think about that word?
Sometimes when my dog sits on me and I tell her to get up, she won't budge. She keeps sitting on me.
Very good. That's right.
Let's think about the word concept. Sometimes this word can be very difficult because you can't see a concept. Not really. It's an idea, a general idea or a thought about something. So when I ask students to make a project, the first thing we look at is what concept do they want to create? Do you want to create a poster? Do you want to create a PowerPoint presentation? What is your concept? Okay, Evan, do you have an idea about how we use concept?
So in concept, like if you like look at a word and like sometimes it has a lot of concepts, like multiple meanings.
Good.
So sometimes like when like somebody's creating something, normally they have concept art of what it will look like when it's completely finished.
Very good, Justin. Yes.
Sometimes when I'm like reading an article, I'm asked to find the main concept or the main idea.
That's right, Kurt.
Absolutely.
Chloe.
Well, sometimes when we're learning a new concept in school, I don't understand it. Well, a lot of the times. So I just have to keep reading through different magazines and books.
That's good. Good. Okay.
Let's look at another word. Maybe in some ways you can see this word actually happening. And the word is distract. Okay, so it is a verb, so it's an action. And if something is going to distract you, the idea is that it pulls your attention away from what you should be doing. So for example, if we are sitting in class and the teacher is talking about something that the students need to know, but a bird flies by the window and everyone decides to get up and go look at the bird, they have now been distracted by the bird.
The bird was a distraction. Evan?
So like when I'm in class, like usually like there's at least one person or more that's like talking and they're being distracted, so they distract me too.
Oh, yes.
Distraction can be catchy.
So sometimes at home, I'm working on my homework, and like maybe like my dad's like he's running on a treadmill and then he's like watching TV, and that can be a distraction.
Yes. Kurt?
Sometimes when I'm like in class and trying to do my work, I always get distracted by like other students talking.
So other students can easily cause a distraction.
Yeah, so like when one of my classmates is being really loud or talking about video games that I don't understand, like it's very distracting.
I feel like Justin wants to own that statement.
Yes. Justin likes to talk about video games. He knows a lot. Evan and Kurt do too. All right. The next word is one that I'm very familiar with. It is obedient. Doing what one is asked or told to do. To be obedient means you do what you were told. And then you can also be obedient to authorities, to the police, to the rules of the city. To be obedient is a good thing. It's doing what one is asked or told. My children sometimes are disobedient. They do not do what is told or asked of them. And then they have to suffer consequences. They don't like that. I tell them it's much easier to obey and do the thing asked. Then you won't have to suffer. Are any of you familiar with being obedient?
No.
Evan? Or Justin wants to say something. Yes, Justin.
Also, as I was saying from a previous word, assign, about the video games and teammates assigning you something, sometimes there's always somebody on the team that refuses and is disobedient to the person that's assigning the instructions.
Very good use.
That's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I play with my dog at home, like when I tell, like she always like bites my socks. So like when I tell her to stop, she like doesn't stop.
So she's not obedient, right?
Yeah, I have 2 guinea pigs that don't really understand what I try to tell them, so they can be disobedient at some times.
And Chloe?
Well, my mom always wants me to be obedient, but I'm mostly disobedient most of the time. So
What does your mother do about that?
I suffer the consequences.
Yes. It is better to be obedient. Just
Well, it's
saying.
certainly easier to be obedient.
Yes. All right. The next word is obstacle.
Oh, obstacle. I love this word. So an obstacle is something that stops you from being able to make progress, stops you from being able to go forward. An obstacle can be a thought, something you can't see, or it can be something physical, such as a barrier. Who has an idea about obstacle? Kurt.
If you were doing your work, something as like a bird flying outside the window could be an obstacle because it's like distracting you and that prevents you from doing your work.
Yes, distractions are definitely obstacle.
I was playing video games the other day, and I had like a rocket launcher. But then once I pressed the fire button, somebody moved in front of me and became an obstacle, so I blew myself up.
Oh, dear. That sounds terrible.
We're talking video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just to make sure everyone knows that.
And Evan.
So like for example, like while this person was running a marathon, like a mud, like a pit of mud was in their way and they had to crawl through it, and that counts as an obstacle.
Definitely.
Definitely a big physical obstacle. Chloe, do you have any ideas about obstacle?
Like my after school sport, which I play lacrosse, that could be an obstacle with me for getting my homework done. So that's definitely a challenge.
Yeah. Kurt, do you have any obstacles in your life?
Other than flying birds?
I mean, I guess you could count school as an obstacle because I'm not earning money.
Oh. How about you, Evan? Do you have any obstacles in your life that you could think of? Or Justin, do you have any? Oh, Justin has some.
So another obstacle would be the disobedient teammates I talked about earlier, because as I was saying, they could always move in front of me and make me miss a shot and accident.
Very good. Yeah, something that prevents you from moving forward.
Like in this one game I play, you have to go and do something, and then you have a bunch of teammates with you, and then each teammate makes the game harder, and if the teammate dies, then they are permanently out. So if they die, then it'll just make they're an obstacle, because if they're bad at the game, then they'll just slow us down.
Yes. I know that money can be an obstacle. A lack of having money can prevent people from getting things that they need to go forward in life, like maybe a house or a car or anything really that might stop you if you don't have enough money. Okay.
Excellent word coming up next, the word patient. There are a couple of different ways to use this word. One of them is as an adjective, which means that it describes a type of behavior. If a person is patient, that means they don't mind having to wait for things. If a person is a patient, that means they need help from a doctor. Who has something for us regarding patient in either form?
So in some restaurants and stuff, you have to wait for a long time, and I guess I'm pretty patient because I just read.
So Evan is a patient person who reads while waiting. Good.
So normally knitting is a really patient thing. But when there's a tight deadline, some people just rush through and complete it quickly.
Yes.
Sometimes when I'm when it's almost Christmas, I get impatient and I open up the gifts early.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Chloe.
I know for a lot of sports, you have to be really patient, because for me, when I play lacrosse, I don't get the ball in my net all the time. So that definitely makes me impatient, but I have to have patience.
I can use this word both ways, really. I have 6 children, and throughout the years, we've had to go to the doctors quite a bit. So they were patients at the doctors, but I needed to have patience waiting for the doctor without complaining. Lots of times we had to wait and wait and wait before the doctor would show up. So I had to have patience.
Patience with your patients.
Patience with the patient. That's right. Our next word is pedestrian. A pedestrian is someone who is walking, someone traveling on foot. We see pedestrians all around us. We have special signals to make the cars stop for pedestrians to go across the street. We have crosswalks where the pedestrians are safe to walk. We have sidewalks too.
We also have pedestrian paths. If you ever have a chance to walk in the mountains, like we have here in beautiful Washington State, you will find lots of people on footpaths. Those footpaths are also called pedestrian paths.
That's right. That's good. Evan, do you have anything to say about that word?
So in a trail, you usually see a lot of pedestrians, in the form of bikers and hikers. bikers and people walking their dogs.
Right.
Oh, we forgot about the dog walking angle. That's true. The dog is a pedestrian as well. Good.
Justin?
So like sometimes if you go to like a city where it's like really poor, you'll see some pedestrians like buying some food from food stands like on the side of the sidewalk.
That's right. Carrying their groceries. Kurt?
Sometimes when I take the bus from school, I become a pedestrian when I'm like walking home because I have to cross the street.
That's right. Chloe?
When I'm in the car with my mom, we see a lot of pedestrians, and sometimes they aren't the smartest, and they try and go across the road without any cars knowing, and sometimes they get hit.
Yes. Luckily, we don't see too much of that. But that's true. Okay, and our last word is retire.
I think this is the favorite word of anyone who has to work.
Yes. Retire means, in two different ways we can use that. It means to go to bed. You're going to retire to your bedroom and go to sleep. But another way we use this word is to stop working because one has reached a certain age. So here in America, we see a lot of people who retire around the age of 55 to 65 years of age. And they have stopped working, and they are now enjoying their days, doing what they want to do, what they enjoy doing. And they have hopefully saved money so that they can feed themselves and live somewhere. But they do not work anymore. They have retired. Anybody have anything to say about the word retire? Evan?
So some people are really young, but they make a lot of money, like either from like social media or like something like making a company or something, and they retire early.
Yes.
So like they can do what they want for like 50 more years.
Yes.
Yes, that's a very important point. I have a couple of friends who retired at the age of 40.
Wow.
And by the time they were 45, they were so bored they went back to work.
Right.
So even though they didn't need money, a human needs something to do.
That's right. Just.
Actually there is another way you can retire early is in some armies, some French legions. If you get injured gravely during battle, you can actually retire early.
Oh, yeah. They don't have to work anymore. That's right. Retire.
My dad has a few friends that live at retirement homes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like specific homes for people that are retired.
Yeah, that's right. Retirement home.
Like every time I'm at a sleepover and their dad or mom tells us to go to bed, we never do, so we never retire.
Good point. A group of teenagers together watching television and enjoying each other's company. They don't want to retire to sleep.
But I bet the parents do.
Of course.
I can't wait to retire. Well, that is it for today. Guys in the audience, do you have anything you want to add to any of our words? No?
Would you be able to take maybe 3 or 4 of those words and come up with a string of sentence like you did?
That'd be awesome. Okay, we'll start with who?
I think Justin would like to start.
The concept art of the new hot dog building distracted me when I was trying to eat.
Then an obstacle appeared out of thin air and squashed.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you try that again?
And an obstacle appeared out of thin air, and like a big rock appeared out of thin air. He squashed him because it was an obstacle.
Okay, good.
Getting squished by a rock was only part of the
But it had to have patience because the rock was really high in the sky and it takes a while to fall.
Very good. And Chloe?
There was somebody in the car who wanted to retire, but just saw somebody get squished.
Okay.
And on that note, we look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.